Ever imagine your book, like, coming to life with a voice that just pulls readers in?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today.
AI voice generators.
Yeah, AI voice generators. It's
Like,
like having this a virtual voice actor, but it uses like artificial intelligence, you know?
to turn like the written word into spoken word.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And as authors, we already know how a great voice can make a story so powerful, but this technology goes way beyond audiobooks.
Hmm.
Today, we're going to be looking at AI voice generators and how they're changing the game for authors in some pretty unexpected ways,
Yeah, it's really shaking things up.
for sure. I'm super excited to dig into all the ways authors can use AI, not just to tell their stories, but to actually build their income and find a whole new audience, right?
Exactly. It's not just about the art anymore, it's about the business too.
Yeah.
AI can be a really powerful tool for both.
Okay, so let's jump right in. One thing that really stood out to me in the research was this idea of beyond audible. So traditionally, you think audiobooks, you think Audible, right? But this AI stuff, it's like opening up a whole new world of, I don't know, like income possibilities beyond just selling copies on Audible.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting is that it's not even just about like selling individual copies anymore.
Right.
It's about the fact that like all these platforms, they are desperate for content.
Yeah, they're hungry.
They're absolutely ravenous for content, and AI makes it so much faster and easier and like more affordable to create that content. So it's like it's opening up all these opportunities for things like subscription deals, almost like a, you know,
Like a Netflix for audiobook.
exactly, like a Netflix for audiobooks, right?
Yeah.
Where authors could potentially get recurring revenue just for having their books available on these platforms.
Wow. Okay, so you're not even selling individual copies.
It's a whole different model.
It's a whole different model. That is fascinating.
Yeah, and I think it's just the beginning. Like we're really just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Okay, so we've got these subscription models emerging. We're not even talking about just individual sales anymore. But then on top of that, there's also this whole world of licensing deals that's opening up.
Oh yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, it's massive.
Think about it. Educational platforms, corporate training materials, even museum audio guides.
Oh,
All of that could be using AI narrated audiobooks. You know, we're talking about a huge market that really hasn't been tapped into yet.
and authors can be like on the forefront of this.
Exactly. And with AI, it's so much easier to create these different versions of your book tailored to these different markets. You know, like you could have a version for schools, a version for businesses, a version for museums, whatever.
Okay, so let's keep this practical, right? And I know our listeners are authors that are thinking, okay, this is great, big picture, I get it, but what can I do right now? So you mentioned earlier this idea of bundling strategies. Could you like give an example of what that might look like for our listeners?
Sure. So a really easy example is, you create an AI narrated audiobook and you bundle it with your ebook.
Okay.
Right. So you're offering like a special edition package or something. You're giving readers more value. You know, they're getting the book in two formats. They can listen, they can read whatever they prefer.
Yeah.
And for you, it's a new revenue stream because
Yeah.
you're essentially selling two products in one. And, you can get creative with it. You could have different tiers of bundles. Like maybe one tier includes a signed copy of the ebook or something.
Love it. So you're giving the readers option. You're meeting them where they're at, how they want to consume your work, which is amazing.
Mhm.
But then you're also creating all these different revenue streams for yourself. It's a win-win.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of AI. It gives you so much flexibility.
It really does. Okay, so speaking of giving readers options and reaching a wider audience, I think AI is such a powerful tool for tapping into, more diverse markets.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. Like you can experiment with different AI voices and styles to appeal to different demographics. You know, a children's book obviously needs a different voice than like a thriller, right?
Oh,
And AI gives you that versatility. You can choose a voice that's, warm and friendly for a kid's book, or you can choose a voice that's dark and suspenseful for a thriller.
I'm really curious about this too, and the source material touched on this. Pricing models. You know, we've talked about subscriptions, we've talked about bundles, but there's also this whole world of innovative pricing that's opened up because of AI, right?
Right. Yeah. Like dynamic pricing. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard the term, but I'd love to hear you explain it.
So dynamic pricing is basically like it's like airline tickets, right? The price goes up and down based on demand. So for audiobooks, you could use dynamic pricing to like adjust the price based on the time of year or, how popular your book is at that moment.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a way to kind of maximize your earnings. And then there's tiered subscriptions. So instead of just offering one subscription for all your books, you could have like different tiers.
Okay.
So like a basic tier that gives access to one book per month or something, and then a premium tier that gives access to your whole catalog.
Okay, so it's giving the readers choices, but it's also allowing you as the author to potentially earn more.
Exactly. And then there's like a pay what you want model,
Oh,
which
interesting.
is really cool. It's basically like readers choose how much they want to pay for your book.
That's pretty radical.
Yeah, it's a little bit out there, but it's a way to like really empower your readers and, let them decide what your work is worth to them.
And all these options are made possible really by AI because it's made it so much faster and cheaper to create these audiobooks.
Exactly. It's lowered the barrier to entry, which
Yeah.
has opened up all these new possibilities.
Okay, so final thought here, because I know we're running out of time, but this idea of collaborations.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
So AI is obviously a powerful tool for individual authors, but what about the potential for authors to team up and like leverage AI together?
Yeah, there's so much potential there. Like, you could have multiple authors collaborating on a podcast series, all using AI narration.
Oh, wow.
Or, imagine your story being integrated into a VR experience.
I mean, that would just take it to a whole other level.
Exactly. And it's all possible with AI. The technology is there. It's just a matter of being creative and thinking outside the box.
It's incredible. It feels like we're on the cusp of a whole new era of storytelling.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be an author.
It really is. So, we've covered a lot of ground today, but the main takeaway for me is that AI voice generators are revolutionizing how authors approach both storytelling and income generation. So for all you listeners out there, I leave you with this. If you could use AI narration to bring any aspect of your writing to life in a whole new way, what would it be? Let that question spark your imagination and maybe even encourage you to explore this technology for yourself. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.
Bye.